Cuyahoga Valley Environmental Education Center provides children from northeastern Ohio with an opportunity to live, learn, and grow in a national park. Since 1994, over 50,000 children have participated in residential learning programs. We are grateful to all of the individuals, foundations, and corporations who make these programs possible.
Where did you find it?
I found it right under a log.
You see the little brown circle? That's how he hears. It's his ear back there. I believe this is a green frog. Do you see any green on him?
Yep, right here.
So what makes it look like he lives in the water and not the land?
By his hand flippers.
Exactly. He's got some webbed toes back there and makes it really good for swimming.
Out here, our classes run about 3 hours long, and we have a lot of different hands-on activities. So I'm not just lecturing students all day long. I get to actually take them out and play games with them in the forest, and we get to catch stuff in the ponds. And it's really, really hands-on. It's a great opportunity for them to think outside the box and not be in such a structured environment, but be in a very informal outside experience. And it's really just a great opportunity for them.
This guy, you might be able to identify him on there. He's actually this threadworm, and it says he swirls around a lot. And if you noticed him before, he looked like he was dancing. He was just like constantly moving. It looked like a worm. If I was a worm, I'd totally be him.
And you're also going to tell us why it's important. Why did we look at the Banks Pool Whip? What does it tell us about this particular stream that we're going to visit today? So as you're reading, think about that stuff so you can share it with the group later.
I see transformations take place every time we have an urban school come out, and it might be something as simple as going out and finding this big millipede that the kids think is just absolutely disgusting, but letting it crawl on your hand, and then eventually, you know, child by child, they'll be like, oh, can I hold it, can I hold it? And then eventually you kind of put the millipede on their hand, and they are so proud of themselves and so excited that they let this big, nasty bug crawl all over them, and they weren't afraid of it. And I get to see that a lot.
It's a baby dragonfly, and as they little, they live in water. And as they get older, that's why you see them flying around the water.
It's gonna lose that tail.
Yep, it's gonna lose its tail and to go get some wings and start flying.
Since a tree is like a producer, I'm gonna put in the bucket there.
I think the kids got as much out of kind of like those socializing events, like the meal time with the instructors and the game times, because that's when you form a bond. And I think that, you know, all the classes that we teach here are important to be sure, but I think that it's very important for the kids to come out here and actually have meaningful connections with adults.
So what is he?
Sun.
What do we have? The grass. What is the grass?
Grass.
What's the other word?
Meadow.
Starts with a P.
Producer.
Producer. Or plant. What is she? She's herbivore.
One group very early on, I remember for our level 1 curriculum, the students get to build an eco place. It's this whole green building project, and they get to completely design it and then construct it, and then they have to give a presentation about it. And my group was really, really struggling through the class, and they were having a really hard time with it, and I was really nervous about their presentations because I didn't want them to feel like they weren't good enough compared to the other groups. And I remember watching them do their presentations one evening, and I literally had tears in my eyes. It was so moving to watch them and to really see that they absorbed so much of that information that I had been teaching them all week. And sometimes you don't always feel like what you're saying is really being absorbed, but at the end of the week when they actually get to present it back to you and you see it really did sink in, that it means a lot, because I feel like what I'm doing out here is really worth it, and it makes me really happy to know that I'm not just talking at students, but I'm getting to actually teach them really valuable information.
Do you guys think he's an herbivore or carnivore?
Herbivore.
Yeah. They're gonna eat off all these leaves off this tree.
I think it's important that kids feel that connection to the natural world, and it's important to really start conserving our natural resources, because if we don't, we're not going to have a whole lot in the future for our children or our children's children. And when kids come to the center, they start to learn about ways that they can start living more sustainably, and then they start to learn why it's so important to live sustainably, not just for maybe our generation, but for generations maybe 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now, because it's just as much their right to have these natural resources as it is our right today to have them.